being said, now that the Supreme Court is real, and they've got these abortion pills that you can take in order to induce an abortion, right? Well, I think it was going to go that way anyway, number one, because, and I'll tell you why. Because psychologically, it's easier for a person to justify something if they take a pill rather than having to go get a procedure. Number two, I don't think that there's any, there was some money in it for Planned Parenthood, but they now shifted to the whole gender reassignment surgery thing because there's far more money in it. I've read the studies on air, right? With gender reassignment surgery, there's hormones and drugs and the surgery and counseling. So like you have a repeat customer for life, right? And so with with taking a pill, it eases the conscience of the user. Also, doctors don't want to do it. A lot of them don't. And we saw that. I had the author of a book about China come on the show. I can't remember his name. But he was over there during the Cultural Revolution. He was one of the first Americans with Berkeley University that was allowed in to see it. And they saw situations where there was forced abortions with the one child policy that China had, and doctors would refuse to do it. And so military would come in and drag these women out screaming and do it without an anesthetic, and it was horrible, horrible, horrible. So that being said, while everybody was cheering that Roe v. Wade had been overturned and that states were making it illegal after so many months or whatever the case might have been, what if it was just going to switch to this pill thing anyway?
Boy, I'll tell you what, you're bringing up a really sensitive topic.
It is.
Oddly, Mike, abortion is one of the few things that I rarely talk about, and I really don't want to enter the fray.
Generally, I hear you. I don't get into it much either.
But as you know me, I just, is there something we can all agree on? And I mean the most vehement disagreeers, great word. And this is number one. Because, by the way, the federal government sending abortion is unconstitutional. That's overriding state constitutions.
I agree.
That's another story.
Yep.
Okay, but number two, and this is the most important thing, can we all agree on two things, and two things only? Number one, that any female in the United States who's requesting information about an abortion or is considering it, that they receive the following. Number one, full education on abortion.
Yeah.
Full education on motherhood, especially the first couple of years. But most importantly, can they all be offered an option, rather than abortion, that they will be 100% cared for during their pregnancy? They will never pay a dime for anything during their pregnancy, and let's just say the first year or two, that they will have an income so they don't have to worry. That they will get full care when the baby is delivered, that there will be a lineup of people, if they choose not to keep it, a lineup, because you're going to reform the adoption world. It's a bunch of nonsense. A lineup of unbelievable parents who would be willing to take that baby. Okay, that's an option as clear. And okay, so that is it. If you can assure me that, and there's plenty of money to pay for that, Mike. We've got 100 billion, whatever trillion go to Ukraine. I've got 100 billion going to Ukraine.
Yeah, don't get me started on that.
We get 6.2 trillion added to the debt since Biden was president. We got plenty of money to pay for these options, including all the way through birth and postnatal care. We have the money to do that. And second thing, that was the first one. Will young prospective moms get those options? Secondly, can we all agree, God in heaven, Mike, can we all agree that to the very top of the United States, right to the president, that we outlaw late-term abortion, period? I mean, that it will not happen. I don't want to hear any arguments. There's not a woman in the country who would have her life threatened in any way without U.S. healthcare saving her life. Okay, so don't give me that argument of the life of the mother. Don't ever give me that argument. So can we agree we literally, from the top, outlaw late-term abortions, they won't be done. Can we agree on that? And those are the only two things that I would toss into the abortion argument